My name's Shaye,
Hi, I'm Raj.
and we're proud to be Born Ambitious ambassadors with London Youth.
Nice to meet you. Hi, Shaye, nice to meet you. I graduated from university. I did art at university.
Right.
So I guess.
What,
now-
fine arts?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So I want to be an artist full time.
For me, I'm still in sixth form, so I'm in year 13. I'm finishing. I'm going into uni next year or either apprenticeships.
I call myself an all-round creative. I'm kind of interested in literally everything, whether that's behind the camera, on the camera. I've done script writing.
Also graduated, and during my time at university I did internships with journalism companies, and yeah, I'm really interested in journalism.
I finished BTech Business 2 years ago,
Right.
and I fell in love with radio. I want to specifically focus on gospel music because I feel like it's a niche, but there's not really a lot of people talking about it, so I want to focus on
I
that.
studied psychology and counselling, and I've just been on the journey of understanding myself and my desire for creativity.
I came from like really humble beginnings. So grew up in a place called Barking. When I was born, we were all living in one room. My grandfather, my mother, my father, 2 brothers, a sister, and then myself. My mother was allowed to use the cooker for like 1 hour for the next day to cook the meal. So that's how we kind of started. Me and my brothers and sisters realised that this was not the kind of world we wanted to live in. It was quite poor. There was a lot of racism in those days as well, the National Front. So we thought the only way we can get out of this is to make money, to create a better life, not for ourselves, but also for our families as well. So we started to do market stalls in our summer holidays, and we took like a wallpaper table and watches and lighters and things that we could fit into small boxes. Did a market, just started selling things, and we were actually quite good at it. We were probably better than some of the people who were doing it full time. And then I ended up doing a graphic design degree. I wanted to be an artist, but thought I need to earn money as well. From there, kind of set up a fashion business because my brother-in-law was experienced in working in fashion, and he wanted to start his own business. And I thought, yeah, I'd give him a hand. And then I saw that there was so much opportunity, and we created a multi-million-pound business within about a year and a half. We just started to buy skirts and blouses from a wholesaler, and then when we were selling 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 of those, we thought, well, why don't we just buy some fabric and actually start making our own? So we started to make our own, and then starting to order containers from the Far East, and then having 47 factories making for us. We created a very, very profitable business. Going back to where I started, I ended up, becoming an angel investor, and now I've founded about 5-6 companies. Who would have thought, that somebody like myself can achieve so much? There should be no boundaries. You can achieve if you want to. If you really want to, nothing is impossible.
Originally, I started my entrepreneurial journey at the age of 9. I'd always loved football and I always loved board games, and I realised I had a passion for those 2 things. I used to play chess quite a lot. We both support Chelsea, so we used to love going to the match together. And we came back from a match. I sort of started sketching out a Chelsea board game. After a good few weeks of us just sort of playing around with the sketch and whatever, we sort of came to a conclusion that this game can actually turn into something. I think that was for 2 reasons. Firstly, I had someone that actually believed in me going further than just having a sketch on the table, which I think really helps. Having someone that actually believes in you and wants you to do well is really important.
If you believe in yourself, you have to have that conviction. Sometimes your parents don't necessarily believe, or people think, oh, what's this guy talking about? But if you have it in you, you can achieve it.
We released our first edition after about a year. And I thought, this could actually be something that may do well, may not do well, but at least I've started my entrepreneurial journey, right? So we released our first edition game, and as most first editions of things, it came back with a lot of mixed reviews. From there, we released our second game. It was better, but wasn't to the expectation that I wanted it to be. And then we released our third edition game, and from there, that's a game that I think it was in 2020 or 2021, then became the 17th best-selling board game on Amazon. After that happened, people started to take me more serious, which I think, obviously it's a different type of discrimination to race or anything, but, obviously age is a big thing when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And it's something that I've always stood for, is that no matter how old you are, if you have the conviction for something and you're able to do it, no one should tell you that. And at this age of about 14, 15, I sort of realised that my dad's helped me as a mentor so much, and he's helped me, sort of grow the company and advise me that I sort of needed to take it now into my own hands. And at that stage, that's when I sort of went on to Dragon's Den and applied for that. And
So at 14, sorry.
at 15.
Oh, 15.
So no, you were 14 when you applied.
14 when I applied,
Yeah.
and then 15 when I went on the show. And it is young. I felt like at that stage, I was in a position where I was ready to go for it, but I would also be the youngest person to ever go on the show. So, it's either now or I go on the show as someone who's gone on the show, sort of thing, right? So we applied after a very, very long application process. We did get accepted. We went down to Manchester to the filming. But one thing that I've really been able to do, which is the biggest thing for me, above all the money and all the board games and everything, is actually be able to influence younger people to go and start their own businesses. So one thing I've always been quite an advocate for is to help young and youth entrepreneurship. I feel like it's not supported in society, especially in the UK at all.
That third edition came about because going and meeting industry experts, going to the toy fairs, and then saying to them, listen, I've sold 1,000 games or so, and they're like, okay, come back when you've sold 10,000 or whatever, and you go back and they're still, you're kind of just saying, you're just kind of putting you off. But the reality was, we then got one guy who was sort of a vice president of a big toy company, and we managed to take him and his son to a football match, again, what we love, and got to know them. And the guy actually played the game and then gave us like these 3 A4 sheets of critique about how you can make this better. And the reality is we listened to everything that he had to say. We changed the game and the third game, and that's when it became the 17th best-selling board game. So listen to those experts.
Yeah, I think for me that was definitely one of the hardest things, especially because I started the business quite young. Taking other people's advice and not thinking that you're the best at everything, taking other people's advice is really important.
I think you guys actually have a massive advantage over other people. So there could be people who are great at maths or great, but they're just not creative. And that creativity kind of comes from within. What you sometimes need though, is if you do start to grow a business, is you might need another co-founder who might be great at numbers. So you're the creative one, they might be good at the business side of things. So you don't have to be great at everything yourself. So there's two ways of doing a business. One is the grassroots, which was buy that wallpaper table, buy the watches, and start, and you don't need to raise money. You can actually start making money yourself. But the other one is where you go, okay, I've got this great idea, get together with a co-founder who said the team's balanced. Like you've got the guy with the numbers, you've got the creativity, and then you make that pitch deck. And then you do your research and you go, this market's bloody this massive, it's massive, and yet no one's doing it. And this is how we're going to do it. And this is what makes us different. And then if you kind of bring that to someone like myself and say, look, we need 50K to start this or 100K, but we believe this can be a £10 million business, then that's the other way of doing it.
I don't think you have to start something that hasn't been done before. I think if something has been done before, it actually shows that there is room for success. It doesn't mean that it can't be done better, right?
One thing that we really wanted to encompass within the game was the charity aspect, because we wanted to show people that, being a billionaire or making money is not just about, there's lots of good people out there, like Bill Gates, for example, the amount of money that he's giving back. So we wanted to encompass that within the game as well, whereas other games like Monopoly, for example, it's all about bankrupting the people you're playing with, right? So we wanted to make sure that we showed that kind of element as well. So that was quite important.
What has been the most memorable or funny moment you've experienced while being in your entrepreneurial journey?
I think the most memorable thing for me, obviously being quite young, I didn't really expect that something I could have sketched on the table to actually make any sort of money, especially after going through 3 years of sales being really, really nominal, not really selling much at all, and obviously having 2 editions which, came back with reviews that were just, not near what I wanted at all. And I think if the third one got released and then it was still just as bad, it would have been very disheartening. I'm not sure I would be in the position where I am today.
I grew up in my family with a lot of love. We weren't rich, you know, but my parents used to just give me so much love, and my brothers and sisters. And I think that growing up with that love, and then we've done the same with our kids. And our kids, you know, Shaye, we've got 2 boys. Anything we would do for them, they would always say, Dad, thank you so much for this. Really means a lot. I still think I'm the same person who grew up in Barking. And I'm not scared of, you know, sometimes I meet kind of entrepreneurs who kind of like, they always pretend that they've lived in Mayfair all their lives, right? But for me, that's not it. It's about my grassroots, where I've come from. And I'm really proud of that.